The road to resilience. A day in the life of a delivery driver in a bustling city. The sun had not yet breached the horizon when James's alarm clock shattered the silence of his small apartment. He groaned, fumbling for the snooze button. It was just another day in his life as a delivery driver in the bustling city of New York. The hustle and bustle of the city that never sleeps mirrored his own relentless struggle to make ends meet. As James wiped the sleep from his eyes, he couldn't help but reflect on the journey that had brought him here. He had grown up in a tough neighborhood, raised by a single mother who worked 2 jobs just to put food on the table. Despite the odds stacked against him, James had always possessed an unyielding determination to escape the cycle of poverty and create a better life for himself. His journey began as a teenager when he got his first job at a local pizza place. It was there that he developed a strong work ethic and learned the value of punctuality and hard work. Even as he attended high school and later college, he continued to work part-time. But as the burden of student loans and the cost of living in the city mounted, James knew he needed to find a way to make more money. That's when he stumbled upon a job posting for a delivery driver position. With no prior experience, he took a leap of faith and applied. Much to his surprise, he got the job, and his life was forever changed. Now, as the sun began to rise, James knew he had a long day ahead of him. He had become one of the city's unsung heroes, navigating the chaotic streets of New York to ensure that people received their packages, meals, and groceries on time. It was a physically and mentally demanding job, but it was the only thing that had kept him afloat. He rolled out of bed, put on his faded blue uniform, and laced up his comfortable, well-worn sneakers. His mother had once told him, "Son, the world doesn't owe you anything. If you want something, you have to work for it." Those words had stuck with him, serving as a constant reminder of his purpose. Morning rush and the grind begins. As James left his apartment, the city was just starting to stir. The early morning light painted the skyscrapers with shades of gold, and the streets were still relatively calm compared to the chaos that would soon ensue. He made his way to the local depot, a bustling hub of activity where drivers from various delivery companies gathered to load up their vans, bikes, and scooters. James had become friends with many of his fellow drivers over the years, and they all had their own stories of struggle and determination. Today was different, though. As James approached the depot, he noticed a new face, a young woman named Emma. She looked nervous, holding a stack of delivery orders in her hand. "Hey, you new here?" James asked, offering a warm smile. Emma nodded, her eyes filled with uncertainty. "Yeah, it's my first day. I've never done anything like this before." James could see the fear in her eyes, but he recognized it all too well. It was the same fear he had felt on his own first day. He decided to take her under his wing. "Don't worry, we've all been there. I'll show you the ropes," James assured her. Over the next hour, James patiently taught Emma the ins and outs of the job, how to use the GPS system, how to efficiently organize deliveries, and how to handle customers. As they loaded up their respective vehicles, James couldn't help but feel a sense of pride in helping someone else navigate the same path he had once taken. facing the urban jungle. The city was now in full swing, and the streets were alive with honking horns, bustling pedestrians, and the relentless cacophony of urban life. James and Emma set out on their respective routes, each with a long list of deliveries to make. Navigating the city was a challenge in itself. James had become intimately familiar with every shortcut, one-way street, and traffic pattern. He had seen it all: road rage, construction delays, and delivery destinations that seemed impossible to find. But through it all, he remained steadfast, his determination unwavering. Emma, on the other hand, was still finding her bearings. Her first delivery took her to a high-rise apartment building with a maze of hallways and elevators. She quickly got lost, and her nervousness grew. James received a call from her, the panic evident in her voice. "I can't find the apartment. I've been wandering for ages." He reassured her, "It's all right, Emma. Take a deep breath. I'll guide you through it." James used his experience to help her navigate the building and find the correct apartment. The smile on Emma's face when she successfully made the delivery was priceless. It was a small victory, but it meant the world to her. As they continued their deliveries, James shared stories of his own trials and tribulations in the city. He told her about the time he had been caught in a torrential downpour, about the countless near-miss accidents, and about the times he had worked through sickness to make ends meet. His stories were a testament to the strength of character that had carried him through his toughest moments. The people you meet. In the midst of the city's relentless chaos, James and Emma encountered a diverse array of people. From the affluent businessmen in their high-rise offices to the struggling families in cramped apartments, they delivered to all walks of life. One particularly memorable encounter was with an elderly woman named Mrs. Rodriguez. She lived in a small, run-down building on the outskirts of the city. Her frailty was evident, and she moved with great difficulty. When she opened the door to accept her delivery, she greeted James and Emma with a warm smile. "Thank you for bringing me my groceries," she said, her eyes welling up with tears. "I can't get out much these days, and you've made my life a lot easier." James and Emma exchanged a knowing glance. It was moments like these that reminded them of the impact their work had on people's lives. They weren't just delivering packages, they were providing a lifeline to those who needed it most. Battling the elements. The day pressed on, and as they made their way through the city, the weather took a turn for the worse. Dark clouds loomed overhead, and rain began to pour down in relentless sheets. It was the kind of rain that drenched you to the bone in seconds. With each delivery, James and Emma became more soaked and chilled to the core. But they pressed on, determined to fulfill their obligations. James's uniform clung to him, and his sneakers squished with each step. Emma's hair was plastered to her face, and her hands trembled from the cold. The elements were a formidable adversary, but they were no match for the resilience that had been instilled in James and now Emma. They knew that giving up was not an option. As they delivered packages in the pouring rain, they encountered a man living in a small, makeshift tent on the side of the road. He had nothing but a tattered sleeping bag and a few belongings. James and Emma decided to buy him a hot meal with their own money and deliver it to him. The gratitude in his eyes was a poignant reminder of the hardships many faced in the city. Struggles and sacrifices. The sun began to set, casting a warm, golden hue over the city. James and Emma returned to the depot, their exhaustion evident. They had faced numerous challenges throughout the day, from navigating the chaotic city streets to battling the elements. But they had persevered, driven by their shared determination and the knowledge that they were making a difference in the lives of the people they served. As they sat in their vehicles, taking a brief moment to rest, James looked at Emma and said, "You did great today, Emma. I remember how tough it was for me when I started, but you've got the spirit to make it in this job." Emma smiled, her confidence noticeably higher than when she had started the day. "Thank you, James. I couldn't have done it without your guidance and support." They both knew that the life of a delivery driver was far from glamorous, and the paychecks were often modest. But it was the connections they forged with the people they met along the way and the satisfaction of knowing they were contributing to their community that made it all worthwhile. A glimpse of hope. As they prepared to head home, their phones chimed with a notification. It was a message from the depot manager, announcing an upcoming employee appreciation event. There would be food, games, and a chance to connect with colleagues. James and Emma shared a look of excitement. It was a rare moment of recognition for their hard work and dedication. They knew they had earned this opportunity to unwind and enjoy the company of their fellow drivers. The event turned out to be a night to remember. James and Emma, along with their colleagues, enjoyed a meal together, shared stories, and laughed until their cheeks ached. It was a stark contrast to the usual hustle and bustle of their workday. As James looked around at his fellow drivers, he couldn't help but feel a sense of camaraderie. They were a diverse group, hailing from different backgrounds and walks of life. Yet, they were united by a common purpose: to serve their community and make a living in a city that demanded resilience and grit. The power of resilience. The following morning, James's alarm clock once again shattered the early morning silence. But this time, he didn't groan. He felt a renewed sense of purpose and determination. He knew that his journey as a delivery driver in the bustling city was far from over. As he left his apartment, he couldn't help but think about the young woman, Emma, who had started her journey just the day before. He had witnessed her transformation from a nervous newcomer to a confident and capable delivery driver. Her success was a testa. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. Please hit the like button if you like this video, and hit the subscribe button to learn English through watching these kinds of interesting stories daily. Please click on the screen on any video showing on your screen to watch it next. Once again, thank you so much for watching this video till the end.